welcome to the third edition of the Pagcast. So to my right, I have Ms Stephenson. And we're going to be talking about her history as a baseball player and her journey to being a phys ed teacher. So she graduated Wilfrid Laurier with a kinesiology degree and then went on to Brock for an education degree and is now a phys ed and varsity assistant coach. So she has played 13 years on the women's Canadian baseball, and she got a bronze medal this year. And my first question is, Japan, they're one of the best, or maybe even the best women's women's national baseball team. How frustrating is it to go up against them?
Well, they certainly are fantastic. They've won 6 World Cups in a row, and they haven't lost a game in those 6 World Cups, so that's pretty dominant, I would say. I mean, I don't think it's frustrating, though. I think when in order to win, you want to play the best, you want to beat the best. So when we come up against them, we know you just have to have an error-free game because they're going to have an error-free game. They're just an incredibly polished team. So it's always fun for us to play against them. We had a great game against them this year, fell short just by a run. But, we tested them, and every World Cup, we look forward to playing them because we want to play the best teams. But it is frustrating when you don't get the W's, but we always put up a good fight, and maybe next year.
So when you're batting, what's your tendency to take when you have the first pitch? Do you either have the tendency to take it, or do you like to swing?
I'm an aggressive batter, and I know a pitcher is looking to get ahead in the count. So I go up there with the frame of mind that I'm looking for a first pitch fastball. That's the pitch I want to hit. If it's first pitch fastball, I'm probably going to take a good cut at it. And if it's off speed, there's a good chance I'll lay off it unless it's a hanging curveball. Otherwise, I usually take that off speed first pitch because it's usually low and away soft, and I'm not going to be able to drive that ball. So I'm looking first pitch fastball. Unless, of course, Japan's playing and Sato's on the mound. She starts with a lot of breaking balls. So if we can get a good read on that and I can get a good one to hit, then I'll take a cut. But usually I'm looking first pitch fastball.
So then when your manager comes over to tell you that you're going to get pinch hit, what's the feeling?
I mean, obviously you want to be in the lineup. Everybody wants to play. I don't think any especially elite athlete wants to sit on the bench by any means. But at a World Cup or quite frankly, even on a rep team or something like that, I think the mentality is you want to win. And so if you trust your manager and you trust what he or she is doing or the game plan that they have in mind, you're a good teammate and you take a seat on the bench and if anything, looking at your performance and what you need to improve to make sure you get the opportunity next time. But any good athlete wants to be in the game, but you've also got to be a good teammate, and some days it's just not your day, and so the manager makes that call and you live with it.
So when you're on the Canada National Women's Baseball team, what's the hardest thing about being on that team?
I think the commitment to training and also having a full-time job is really challenging. So, I teach here all day. I coach pretty much all year long, moving from season to season. So many nights I don't get home until 5:30 or later. And then by the time you eat and then have to get to the gym I go to the gym 5 days a week. I do indoor training. So it's just a time commitment that is really challenging, and obviously a lot of men who are professional athletes don't have those same challenges because they have the day to do that or to work it into their schedule. So I would say that's the most challenging part. Obviously I love to play, but there are days where it is really a battle to get to the gym because you're not getting there till 8:30, 9 o'clock at night.
So what's your favorite moment as a baseball player?
Like my favorite opportunity I've had or experience I've had?
Yeah.
I would say the Pan Am Games in Toronto 2015. It was the only multi-sport games that I've ever played in. So it was really kind of cool being in the village to see all the other athletes, obviously not only from Canada but from around Pan American countries. So that was a really, really neat experience, one that I haven't had before. And then it was so close to home, we had a great turnout in terms of fans and stuff like that. So TO 2015 was easily my best experience.
And do you think by playing at home, it gives you an advantage on the field with the home crowd support?
I love playing at home. Some people don't because there's extra pressures, right? Like you've got more family, more friends around, stuff like that. And so some people feel like it's more pressure when you're away. It's just basically you and the team and you're focusing just on that. But I love being able to have family and friends around and have that support. Like you work really hard. I've played t-ball and then baseball since I was 4 years old. And so to have my mom and my brother and, who don't get a chance to see me play very often, and then a lot of friends, and I was actually lucky in Toronto. I had some students even come watch and teachers who are friends of mine. So it was really nice to see that support that I wouldn't have seen if we were away from home. So that was quite lovely for me.
So before you played baseball, you played hockey. And I was reading up, and it said that you had 7 concussions, and you're forced to retire due to the 7th concussion. Is there any lasting effects after that 7th concussion?
Yeah, I was unfortunate. Some of them weren't major. Some of them were pretty minor. And I only actually got 2 or 3, I can't remember, concussions due to hockey. But once you get one, they're just really easy to get after that. And I had 2 pretty severe ones where I've suffered from post-concussion syndrome. I'm really lucky right now. I let the last one heal. I have a neurologist. I have my family doctor who pays attention to it. And they were really on board with the protocol of what I had to do in order to get myself well. And so I'm really lucky. I don't suffer from anything major. Occasionally I get motion sick that I never got before. I love roller coasters. I can't really go on as many now. And I do find going to the movie theater is quite challenging because the screen is so large. On an action film, there's just so many things happening. My eyes don't really like all the stimulation. But I can watch like TV at home and stuff because it's a smaller screen. So, but those are pretty, for me, minor things. It didn't change my day-to-day quality of life that's happened to other people. So I'm lucky I don't have anything major, but there are some subtle little things that I enjoyed before that I can't quite enjoy the same now.
So you're a fan of the dumpster fire of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
I am.
How long have you been a fan of that?
As long as I can remember. My whole family's a Leaf fan.
Oh, wow. Okay, then. So who would be your favorite player in the varsity team from last year?
From our Hayden team?
Yeah.
I don't know if I have any favorites. There's a lot of... I like guys who, work hard, or girls, doesn't matter, who work really hard and who take responsibility for actions on the ice. So whether they're in a defensive zone, neutral zone, attacking zone... so anybody who takes care of business and puts in a good effort and is willing to learn, I'm a big fan of. So there's a lot of guys on our team who fall under that category.
And do you have a favorite moment as a hockey player?
Yeah. So when I was at Laurier in my 4th year, I captained the team to a national championship. We were at McGill. It was hosted by McGill. And we beat Alberta, the Alberta Pandas, in the final, and they had won the previous 3 and hadn't lost a game in almost 4 years. So that was pretty exciting in my final year, my senior year, to win a national championship there.
And have you ever coached a game where Mr. Hogan hasn't chewed a piece of double bubble?
There might have only been one, and that's because we were all out. And I believe he asked for a quarter to go to the vending machine to get a little piece of gum. But no, he has his routine. We all have our routines, and he likes the double bubble. I'm not gonna lie, I indulge myself, maybe not as frequently as him, but he's got his routine and it works for him.
So when you won the bronze medal this year in the Women's National Baseball World Cup, how good was it to beat the U.S.?
Oh, it's always fun to beat the U.S., and especially since they handed us a loss a couple games earlier that really kind of put us out of the gold medal game. And they did it in pretty convincing fashion, had a couple home runs, hit the ball hard, played good defense against us. So to come back and get that win, and it was a really exciting win and extra innings, stuff like that. Each team had a chance for a few innings and nobody could put it away, and then finally we broke it open in the 10th. But to beat them on home soil too is always nice.
So that does it today for the 3rd edition of the Pagcast. So I'd like to thank Ms Stephenson for joining me today, and I'll see you guys next week.